All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to uncover a huge secret that honestly, a lot of small and medium sized businesses are just sitting on. What if I told you the key to solving your biggest security headaches isn't some new, fancy, expensive product, but a powerhouse you probably already own? Let's unlock it. Does this whole scene feel a little too familiar? You're sinking time, you're sinking money into cybersecurity, but you still feel like you're trapped in a loop, right? Just constantly reacting to the next threat without ever getting ahead. It's a really common feeling, but I promise there is a way out. So first, let's just call it what it is. We need to talk about the small and medium business security struggle. It's a real cycle of challenges that can feel totally overwhelming and like it's never going to end.
And here's the real kicker. All these pain points, they feed on each other. You spend money on tools that don't talk to each other, which just creates a mess. Your team isn't totally trained, and that opens up all these vulnerabilities. All the while, you've got these complex regulations like GDPR and HIPAA breathing down your neck. And after all that effort, it feels like your security has barely budged. It is just a super frustrating and costly cycle.
The whole point here is that we have got to flip the script. Instead of being stuck in that cycle of recurring pain, the goal is to build a framework for repeatable wins. We want to get out of just reacting to threats and start proactively managing our security. We want to trade those costly cycles for streamlined processes, and we want to go from feeling constantly vulnerable to having a truly resilient security posture. So how do you actually make that jump? Well, the answer brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. You probably already have the tools to do it. So let's take a look inside your untapped security toolkit. This right here is the main event. For so many businesses, Microsoft 365 is just Word, Excel, Outlook, right? But the real solution isn't about buying yet another security product. No, it's about unlocking the integrated security platform that's already built into the suite you and your team are using every single day. But what even is Microsoft 365 security, really? Well, at its core, it's this comprehensive built-in framework. Think of it like a protective bubble around the four pillars of your business: who has access, what your data is, the devices people are using, and the apps that are running. And when you pop the hood, you really see how powerful this is. It all starts with identity, using Azure Active Directory with multi-factor authentication. It's basically a digital bouncer for your accounts. Then, to handle threats, you've got Microsoft Defender, which acts like a bodyguard for your inbox, filtering out phishing and malware. Your sensitive data? That's protected by information protection, which can automatically classify and lock it down. For all the devices connecting to your network, Intune is your rule enforcer, making sure every phone and laptop is compliant. And finally, Purview helps you navigate the super complex world of data compliance. It's a complete integrated system. Okay, knowing the tools exist is one thing, but actually using them, that's another. So let's map out a clear, actionable plan. We can break the path forward into 5 pretty straightforward steps. First, you gotta assess where you are right now to see where the gaps are. Second, you train your team, because they are your first line of defense, always. Third, you actually leverage and turn on the powerful tools we just talked about. Fourth, you control who can access what data and under what conditions. And finally, you monitor, review, and adapt, because security is never, ever a set-and-forget-it kind of thing. This is your roadmap. So we have the tools and we have a plan. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about the tangible value for actual businesses like yours. Let's talk money, because it's always top of mind, right? In 2024, plans can go for as low as $6 a month per user. But honestly, looking at just this number, you're missing the entire point. The real return on your investment isn't just about the software itself. It's about what you avoid. Think about the massive costs of a data breach, the huge fines from compliance failures, and all the lost productivity from having to deal with security incidents. The investment pays for itself by lowering your overall risk. Let's look at a real example. So there was a small business in the education sector, and they were really struggling to protect sensitive student data when everyone shifted to remote learning. Using the tools they already had, they just implemented data loss prevention policies right inside Microsoft Teams. That stopped sensitive info from being accidentally shared. Problem solved, no new product needed. Or how about healthcare, an industry with incredibly strict compliance rules? A small healthcare provider used Microsoft Information Protection to automatically classify and encrypt patient data. That one move helped them meet HIPAA requirements and protect their most critical asset, patient trust. And again, they did it using the tools they already had at their fingertips.
Look, this is all achievable. The key is to stop thinking about what you need to buy and start thinking about what you need to activate. So let's talk about your next move.
Here are 3 simple things you can do right now. Seriously. First, conduct a security audit. Get a clear picture of where you stand. Second, schedule regular security training for your staff. And third, just dive into all the free documentation and guides that Microsoft provides. These 3 steps alone will put you on the path to a much, much stronger security posture.
So we'll end with this question. After everything we've looked at, the tools, the plan, the real-world wins, it's worth asking yourself, is the key to solving your security frustrations already on your payroll, just hiding in plain sight waiting to be unlocked? Thanks for tuning into The Explainer.